clean this shop up to like soonery. Sorry, I'm scratching my head. Alright. Get involved. Cheers to who is already coming to the room. And I will bring the camera a little bit closer. I've got to get my alternate stand. Good old morning cafe. Got the kids up at school a little earlier, so now I've got time. And a little time to do some stuff in this shop. My plumber's still not finished. Got my bathroom renovation, and so I'm going to spend a little time with y'all. I got 2 likes already. That's what's up. I haven't even gotten into the chat yet. Ruiz, what's going on? Heather B, how you doing, Miss Heather? Wherever there is a Miss Heather, there's a Mr. Cow. And I appreciate them both so much on the show. Alright, so we may as well get the rest of the chisels over here. May as well get the rest of the broadcast equipment here. I hope you're not one of those people that can't hear people swallow and it grosses you out. If you are one of those people, I'm sorry. But coffee is paramount. Man, that little arm comes in so handy. All right. Ruiz, cheers to you, my other mother brother. Miss Heather, my sister of another mister. So I'm gonna go ahead and get me some stuff together here. I'm gonna put shellac on this today, but I am gonna have to bring it back for that. I may try to do a little engraving, I don't know if I'm capable, but I'm gonna practice on some other stuff first. But I'm also, since I made 3 of those, I am going to make this blank into something. Trying to say, figure out something cool. Practice makes perfect, and that's what we're doing here right now. Ruiz says, cheers, bud, and I appreciate him. So let's go ahead and get these chisels sharpened first before we get into that. We did a lot of chisel work over the last couple of days. Didn't do any sharpening. And if we want them to keep performing like we want them to and how they've been, we got to do something for them. Also, this is how much of a scrap junkie I am. I had these leftovers from a mallet, and now I want to make something out of it. Scrap junkie. I think I'm going to start with the strops and see if we can get it good with the strops, and then we're going to try a little of that micro sharpening today as well with the free stuff. that we got from if I can find it. Okay, let's get these. Yeah. That's the thing about having a shop and you get everything organized and you're all happy about knowing where all of your stuff is. And then you get some new stuff and then you play with it for a few days and you don't have a place for it yet. And you're full and now you gotta figure out new storage options, which is my life in a nutshell. Trying to be a boo-uber. But what we are going to start with is this wax, this strop. And I'm going to go on with the white stuff first. Old reliable. Let's see how good we are. I don't think we're there where we need the stones just yet. So let's see how we do with the strap. I like to start with the back side first. I don't know why I do that. I think just the habit of pulling the burr first from coming off the stones. But I tend to be a creature of repetition. If you know a better way or that's not the proper way, feel free to let me know in the chat. I will. I'm learning as I go, so I go with the best practices that I'm aware of until I'm aware of a better practice, and then my knowledge base expands, and then I do something else. Now, I can freehand strap. I do not trust myself to freehand sharpen. If you go over to Dad's workshop, he does. He is good enough for that. And man, I am a guy who mostly learned through watching and trial and error, and still to this day is what and how I learn. Calvin is also very educated. He can tell you the ins and outs of why and how you're doing what you're doing. And I'm over there a lot for that reason. Has a wealth of knowledge over there. So if you haven't subscribed to Dad's workshop, I would suggest it. So do that when you can. It's dope over there. I'm gonna hit all of these with the same side first, and then I'm gonna come back and hit them all with the emulsions. Then you gotta make homes for the items, and then why not make content about that too? That's what Heather says. That is a brilliant idea. But I gotta come up with more ideas, because right now all this stuff is just piled in places that it shouldn't be. All of my workshop tables and workstations have become storage stations for random stuff that I couldn't walk out of Harbor Freight without grabbing. Calvin's right here. He says, thank you. Oh, no problem, man. I mean, this is all very true stuff. I got no paid sponsorships anywhere. So, fortunately, I get to be honest. Until the big bucks start rolling in, and then I start confusing y'all and sponsoring the tools that'll get you $1 million in 2 weeks. Now, I will also tell you that just my philosophy in general is to overdo things that I don't quite understand. So, or that I don't fully understand, I tend to try to find a procedure that I test and works, and then I overdo a little bit. Because I'm a builder, and you gotta overbuild. Overbuilding things rarely is a problem in construction. So it's kind of how I live my life. But if you see that I'm doing too much of something or too little of something, I appreciate the educated comments. So right now, we're just strapping with the white compound. I don't even know what you call it. I just call it the white compound. It's the one I use first. And then usually I go back with the green compound next. That's not going to happen this moment because I'm back on this with the white compound. Ruiz says, all love, no hate. We all don't know everything. It's important to have an open mind and be welcome, for sure. It's good to live by, good words to live by in general. Every step of the sharpening, polishing process, you want to get a good finish, good sharp results for each stage of the process. I will show you the difference between. Calvin actually gave me a little bit of reassurance, unbeknownst to him the other day, because once one of these chisels here out of this group, I did freehand sharpen, and I didn't ruin it, but it is the worst out of the bunch because I did. It's one of these two. They both have a little tilt on them. And one of these has a really hard time getting a straight edge. I think it's this one, but it could be that one. And just FYI, if you use a magnet like I do to hold your chisels, it will magnetize your chisels. Oh snap, I think I just demagnetized it. Awesome. Well, they were sticking together before, so I'm trying to put you up on game. Play good. Or play well. Alright. More of the white stuff. Party on, Wayne. And the other side, because the other side is live on this side. Could show how easy it is. Cut with it now. It says Dontario, Drontario. Pardon me if I'm misenunciating your name. But yeah, we can definitely show the cuts. I forgot people like to see paper cuts. I really more or less prefer, I judge it mostly by wood cuts, but if it cuts paper, it'll cut wood. That's usually the case, right? Guess I gotta hold it somewhere where it'll stay. And let's give it a shot. So we're getting something, but not a consistent something. Let's see. Oh yeah. So, yeah, it's good. But, does that mean it's going to go through that walnut and that maple? I don't know. None of those are micromillimeters thick. So, we're going to put it on the wood in a second. Then we'll know. Then we know the truth. Y'all remember that movie Clan of the Cave Bear? Y'all old enough to know Clan of the Cave Bear? Drew says West does it and Dad's workshop are legit fire channels. If you know, you know. I appreciate that, man. I do. I don't know what on earth people really come here for. I'm embarrassed to say that. Because I'm not the most educated on any of this. But I'm really impressed with me for attracting guys who really are very good at this to the channel to kind of big brother me through processes and stuff like that. FYI, Dad's workshop is having a mallet giveaway, unless it has already happened. If it has, my bad. But maybe you could offer to buy a mallet if you missed the giveaway, because I don't see why that wouldn't be an option. He shows you every day how useful that mallet that he builds himself is, because he does real legit woodworking over there, and I think it's made of ash. I am so ignorant to it. I thought it was pine, because that's the cheap SOB I am, and half of mine are pine. His is ash, which is much harder in material and to work with, so much better mallet in many different ways. And I think you have an option to get one free if you go over there and sign up, and then you go on one of his videos and say, hey, I want to be in the mallet contest, in the comments, and you have your notifications on that show who you're subscribed to, so that he can see that you have subscribed to him. Because why wouldn't you? If you want a mallet, that's definitely where you want to be. And I would go so far as to say go ahead and become a member. For the deep dive, cool thing about Calvin is he has a brain outside of woodworking that is helping, that I find extremely entertaining, because it just soaks up knowledge. I don't know, I don't like to put a lot of people's business out, but I know he was a teacher at some point, and he had to be a really good one. It's a bunch of information over there while you're watching some cool stuff get built. I think my my channel does better when I'm not talking personally. But his guy's got something to say. I appreciate it. I'm getting better at sharpening these, and I think I'm getting better because they're cheap and they will dull pretty quickly. But they really, I don't know what else you would want in terms of performance. And this is probably the cheapest set on the market. I gotta hold it on my belly, so I apologize. But look at that. So, I think we got them all relatively sharp, but we have this here. Why would we not use it? And this is from Cutting Lace EDC. I've not met this person personally, but Diamond Cut Steel, who is a subscriber to the channel, let me know of this product and then sent me out these free samples. Haven't been sponsored or anything like that. I've used this a few times and I found it very impressive. And this is 6 micron, this is 0.5 micron. I don't know the difference other than, you know, the obvious numerical difference would suggest, but I'm gonna go with the 6 or the 0.6, and then we'll go into our carving of the day, because we want good sharp chisel options for that. So I'm gonna put, 20 or so strokes on that. I don't know if I overdo it or underdo it. I just know this has kind of been my rule of thumb. And I've gotten results that I've been happy with that way. So we'll see. There's some good channels on YouTube right now. Some really good channels popping up. And I could almost bet you money that Mike is making stuff will show up in his chat before it's all said and done. It's also a really awesome channel. Mike is kind of like the kid that would be outside the wood shop class smoking a cigarette in the alley, but he's got the best knives and the best knives and the best saws out in that old Chevy. Guy's really got some good information. He's been supporting my channel. I appreciate him too. Five seconds. There's the what it do. Dooney is telling me wrong angle, bro. Spit it out, man. Tell us what we're doing wrong here. What's my angle? What should my angle be? Wrong angle for which side? You're talking about the back side where I'm stropping this, or this, the bevel? What would you say would be the issue? Let me give you a better camera angle so you can see what I'm doing wrong here. And I'm not being facetious. I'm just saying it. What's good, Mike? That's hilarious. You showed up right when I was saying, You like Beetlejuice. Just, you say Mike's name 3 times, he shows up. But the fact is, Mike has consistently been a friend to the channel, and he's got a great channel, so he shows up often, which is dope. Shout outs to you, Mike. You and Calvin really are my top 5 YouTube channels to watch. And then there's some boxing channels I watch because that's also who I am. I swear I almost went on YouTube just to make boxing content. I really wasn't going to do what I'm doing. I was thinking I would go and talk about boxing. I think I made the right choice. But I might do another channel just to do that. Alright, let me pause and see. Glacier Shark says sharp. Appreciate you. Mike says looks like it's dropping just fine to me. And Juan Carlos says hi. What's going on, Juan? Oh, look at that. Well, Mike, you know how it go, man. Sometimes the professor doesn't have enough time to give the whole lecture, just to pop his head in the door and say you're all failing. Well, that's all right. That's why we all out in the alley smoking between classes. Juan Carlos, I'm sorry you walked in on all this deviance, brother. Bunch of knife sharpening dudes shooting the poop. Shout out to Mike. Mike's doing an episode of Shooting the Poop tonight. What do you say, 7 Central Standard Time, Mike? What time you doing that? Right, Mike. Everybody gets a D today. They're filthy animals. What time is the Shooting the Poop tonight, Mike? I think you're going to do that again on every Friday, right? Last time you did it, and I went and attended and was on camera, I was so faded, bro. I couldn't, and I was sleepy. I couldn't even stay up with y'all. I felt like I was about to fall over. 7 Central tonight, yes, sir. I think a little bit earlier is better for me for sure, because I'm on Eastern Standard Time over here. But I do look forward to it. Thing is, I'm kind of an introvert. I'm not good at dialogue. That's what's weird. Like, I won't know what to say when it's my turn to talk. I force myself to talk here. In case people want to know what I'm doing. Speaking of, we just used the 6 micron diamond emulsion by Cutting Lace EDC. She makes this stuff. It's a lady, as far as I understand, and it's working out for us. This is not a sponsored video. I just came up on some free stuff, and now I'm putting you onto it. I don't know if that sounds sponsored because I got it for free, but I did get it for free. But I didn't get it directly from her. I got it from Diamond Cut Steel, who also has a good channel, knife sharpening and such, and knife reviews. I've got a couple of knife reviews. He's got a bunch of knife reviews. Every week, oh man, we get faded, and then that's the cool part. Ha ha, says Mike. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Get out of here, Dewey. Stuff's no good, man. Look, I think less about maker podcasts and think more about our digital version of cracking some cold ones after a rough work week. I feel you, bro. I feel you. You know, I've always been jealous of people who could drink beer. I can't make myself like it enough to get a mouthful of beer into my belly. So I don't know what it does for you, one way or the other. I just know I can't tolerate the taste. And in the commercials make it look so good. It makes it look like it makes your life better. And I just be like, yeah, let me crack open a cold. Ugh. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. And then, so the only alcohols that I actually do enjoy are like crazy strong. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am a lightweight now, literally. And boy, oh boy, I get faded way too quick. And for that reason, I generally don't drink. But I wish I could, I guess. Seems fun. And I'd be at the party looking crazy in there. Well, I have to put, that's what Coca-Cola do. You put a couple ice cubes in it and just let it, just baby it and let it water down. Everybody will think you're drinking Hennessy and you'd be cool. They keep censoring me. Haha, Mike says bourbon. Yeah. Maybe I'll be like the Coffee Moth Studios. Oh man, my back is not happy today. I slept crazy last night and I woke up feeling weird about it. My back was not happy with me this morning. All right, let's cut a couple of pieces of paper for the people who like to see paper get cut. And then we'll start making our pennant. Let's see if this is paper sharp. Oh, it might not be paper cut sharp. I mean, we might not be. Of course, yeah. Of course, yeah. All right, now for S&Gs, I have never used this product here before. I'm gonna shake it up and hit all this again real quick just to see if it makes any difference at all. Let's see what it did first on this. We did these little shavings without, and that's where we stopped. That's definitely better. That's definitely better. Tinier and tinier. Alright, so that's good. I'm going to hit that again with the 0.5 microns. I just don't know past a certain level of sharp how much it matters, but I've never tried to hit the line of where doesn't it matter. You know what I mean? So let's pry. Let's shake it up. Give it a shot. Really, Mike, in the comments are Mike says just a few, loosen up some, but you're stropping at the wrong angle, bruh. But you're stropping all at the wrong angle. Oh, the strap. What you mean angle wise? Oh, this is a different color. Let me put it right here. Just if you decide you want to check her out. No pressure from me. I'm just showing you what's happening. Oh, that's what our professor said. Oh yeah, he let me know. I look like a Lego piece 2550C01. And you look like a cat that orgasms Legos by that part number. That is weird, Gwen. I mean, I'm alright being a Lego part. I like Legos. I enjoy Legos, my friend. Or is that like an insult? Were you bagging on me? That's what we used to call it, bagging. Joning, clowning. If you're really old, you say doing the dozens. I come back at you with some dolomite. Way down in the jungle deep, a bad lion stepped on a signified monkey's feet. The monkey said, "Mother, can't you see? You just stepped on my cat feet." Give it another shot. Let's give it another little stab at the paper slices. Uh-oh. Oh. You still got a little nick in that thing, I think. Because I can feel it catch just a bit. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. I thought we had gotten rid of it last time. But I guess we didn't fully. Maybe that's what we'll do next time. Oh man, I forgot y'all were like a microphone like on my head. I hope that burp wasn't. I apologize. Please forgive me. Forgive me. It does not know. All right. Let's get us some paper towels so I can wipe the mess up, yes. I had shop towels that got rain on and I still like try to keep it. I'm gonna roll off the first 10 days. It's fine. And it's fine, it dried up. Might keep a chat going. Don't worry about him. He don't ruin the surprise. Guess it's out the bag now. Monday, your package arrived. I sent you the wireless mic you can clip onto the suspenders. Oh, that's cool, man. I appreciate that. I remember you mentioning that. I appreciate the follow through. All right. I think I've had enough of this sharpening business. I don't get why people don't like sanding. I love sanding. Sharpening, don't mind it. I don't mind it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. It's like a necessary, I wouldn't call it necessary evil, because I do get a little bit of satisfaction out of having sharp tools. But if I could just stick them in a box and pull them back out and they'd be sharp, I'd be fine with that. So we're gonna move all of this stuff off the space. Cheers to you. Another sip of coffee. I don't know if y'all noticed, I've been dying. Started developing a little pudge, and I had to get rid of it. But I also lost, a little bit of my, So now I got to get back to the workings of the apples. expressing my own body insecurities on the camera. All right, let me get this little tape. Shoot, where is it? Here, not there. Not even a spare. That is my carpet tape. Oh man. It's gonna be in plain sight. I know it is. It's gonna be like sitting somewhere where I've been looking at it for 6 weeks. I just got so used to looking at it that I don't see it anymore. Because I just used it days ago. I see all the things that I also used or tried that didn't work, still ready and available. But the carpet tape, which is so far been the best double-sided holder of material. But heads up, if you do use it, be sure that you got heat on it, get it off of whatever you're using it on relatively easily later on. But if you're like me and you've lost it altogether, maybe just take a couple of seconds, short breathing, look about the shot, relax, everything is fine. Don't flip over your table saws, they cost money. And just like that, my Zen moment paid off. And so now we're gonna do, make sure our surface is clean, not ridiculously so, but relatively ridiculously so. And then take a good sharp chisel, slice the paper, part of that off. I'm gonna press that down. And once it's down, it's gonna be there. So don't expect it to pop right back up easy at all. Now I'm gonna do something a little different than I did last time. I'm gonna give myself 2 surfaces. I'm gonna pull this tape back only so far, and then I'm gonna slice it again. Because this stuff also holds the shavings too. So you have shavings stuck all to the table. And if it starts to let go because it's got so much effort, then you can move down, and you can move down and just cut another little section. But right now we're gonna start right here. Stuck. Mike gave me that suggestion live while I was working on figuring that out the other day. Shouts out to him. Go see Mike's making stuff. God dang genius. All right. We made this essentially the same way. Right? Get some slices through here. I had to re-gift them. I didn't re-gift them back. I'm bringing this one back because I'm going to get her a better necklace part. And I'm going to take the suggestions. Oh, I don't want to give it to the wrong person. But one of the subscribers that I have said I need to put a shellac on this to hold everything in and the finish and keep it good, keep it from fading. And I'm going to do that because I take good advice. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to change out the necklace part of this one. And so in the meantime, I'm going to do a little more carving on this and make something different. So essentially, what I want to do here is something like a little oval. Because I'm just not going to be too ambitious here. Because I think circles are ambitious anyway. But I want something with kind of a multi-layered approach. So I'm going to do an oval, and then I'm going to attempt to cut some portions out of it that will allow it to be visible, all those layers. Oh man, I keep burping. Sorry. Sorry that I'm gross, everyone. Sorry that I'm gross. Alright. That's where we're at. And I might, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's look at that. That used to be a masonry chisel, which is not a slice tool at all. It's a big, blunt, cracked block tool. Mike says he's going to dip. He'll be back. Appreciate you, brother. Heather says those microphones are a game changer. I hope so. It should be fun. This one that I got now is decent, I think. Ugh. That's how we can kind of tell the sharpness. We didn't do all the stuff to this one, but this is outstanding for what this tool started out. So here I am, big up in myself. Not bad, y'all. All right, let's get into it. Let me know if your angle is good. I can get you a little closer if need be. Mike Hames says hi. What's up, Mike Hames? What did you do? Let's see if I can get you a strong angle without interference of in fact, I might can do you better than that. I can do you better than that. Would you like it? Bam. Maybe that's better. What's with that weird stripe? I had a different idea. Got a different idea. tell you, one of the things I like most about doing something new is having the realization in the moment that you're doing it wrong. It could just be one part that you just happen to be doing wrong, and you realize it in the process, and then immediately something new opens up. I love that part. I love the realization of knowing, of learning that I'm doing it wrong. Because with that realization comes the understanding that you are going to be doing it better from now on. Maybe not perfect, but better. Love that. Sometimes for me that'll happen right live in the chat. Sometimes you're just moseying along and you go, oh, that'll be better for them. Boom. When I'm scoring here, I've got a tendency to stay back a little ways from where I actually want to leave my line, my final line. That'll give me some room to play, and my chisel slips a little bit, got a little bit of a safety net. And that's what I see all the real deal woodworkers doing, so gotta do the right things for the ancestors. If I am neglecting you in the chat for any reason, I apologize. It's only because of the positioning that I'm in currently. But I cannot see the chat. But I do appreciate it if you're there. And I will get to any of the questions. Or comments. take a quick moment to do just that. Ruiz says, like butter, Wes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ruiz, how would you prefer being addressed just while you're here, while I got you here? Is this Ruiz or Druiz? Is it D Ruiz? I mean, I'm reading it, obviously, but, you know. I just like to address people by what they prefer to be addressed by. Sometimes I'll be making up a whole name or saying it wrong, and out of politeness, people will be like, yeah, you've been calling me Rodney for 6 years, and my name is Daryl. I'll be like, oh. Just kidding, I don't make that big a mistake, but I do make some. And we are having to hold this a little bit, so if we were at, well, I'll be honest with you, if that gigantic table that I made over there were more useful than this, I'd probably have some little hold fast and stuff like that on here. But this tape is working for now. But you know, maybe I will put some dog holes on this thing. I'm telling you, this bench is just metamorphing into Megatron before it's all over. I just continue breaking that same line as I go down so that I don't accidentally slide underneath my profile, and that means everything above it is coming with it. So it's important to do that fairly frequently if you're doing something this small. And I guess I'll give you some point of reference as to the size of this thing. That's a full-size Bic. You see how that little slip? Because there is another element of movement here. It's not as secure as one would hope for. But because there's an element of play here, we're okay with it. You start working on a thing like this with the idea that it is to experiment and to play, but we also care about it. And if we care about it enough, we can turn that into something worthwhile, and our efforts won't just be in vain. We can also have something nice as we learn. And it'll also govern us with good habits moving forward. I have not yet brought myself to the comfort level of doing commission pieces. Yet. So what I'm likely to do is continue creating things, spending intimate amount of time and effort on them. And then when I'm done, probably price it based on that. And if somebody appreciates that, then they'll come get it. But I'll have to reset up my website for that. I closed it down after a number of years just because as a contractor, you sort of need one, but you more or less just need a portfolio. And you can do that on many free platforms and upload pretty easily. Much easier than you can on a website for a guy like me. So I just got rid of it. But I will probably bring it back just so that I got a place to sell stuff so my garage or my shop doesn't just fill up with things that were fun and interesting projects. But something that somebody else can maybe use. And again, I'm going to just keep breaking that as I go down that grain. And help myself out a little bit. I got this little marking knife, this little scoring knife, whatever you want to call it, from Amazon for a couple of dollars. I talked about it on Dad's workshop the other day. It's so sharp. It does a good job at this part, getting into those little spaces that a square chisel doesn't. If you keep it sharp, you can just slice with it too if you want it. So I'm going to keep going with this until this hits that next wood, you know. And then we'll start to work out a different little bevel. We got a different idea for this one. Once we hit that walnut, change things up a little bit. Let's catch this side up though. Again, I'm working just to the outside of where I want my line to be. And a smaller chisel will give you a little bit more room on getting around a circle. And that'll definitely be useful in that application. I don't suggest hitting your chisel with your hand, but I would say that my hands are probably conditioned for something like that pretty okay. Now I'm going to go around this whole thing until I hit that color, that next color. And I'm going to keep breaking that grain as as I drop down. And that'll prevent us from having accidents, hitting stuff we don't want to hit, removing material that we can't put back. And now, I'll talk real quick about technique a little bit. I'm holding my chisel down with this hand, right? I'm pushing, this is my motor, I'm driving here. This is my steering, right? Some of the pressure that I'm putting down with this hand is to prevent me from going too far. Keeping pressure down so that I stay in the wood, right? See how my finger's moving back and forth with that? That's this finger stopping that motion, right? So it doesn't go too far. I can't over gouge. I can't go too far. It becomes a very useful technique in something like this. Got a small piece. Don't want to take off too much material. But still got to get it off of there. Palato says, sup, bro? Confirm more Palato. Oh, I missed stuff. Great news. Let's see. Palato says her vascular is a bit irregular, which made the procedure a bit trickier than the typical kidney transplant, but the surgeon said everything seems to be working well so far. Fantastic, Palato. Fantastic. I'm sorry if your name isn't Palato and I'm just calling you something that YouTube is, but that's how I know you so far. That's fantastic news. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for showing up on this live, in particular, to share that with us. That is awesome. Oh, that's good news. That's good news. And it was, and Palato, I don't know how that was for you, but it certainly warmed my heart this morning seeing um, these people in here, some of these folks in here, just there with you, sitting in a waiting room, um, supporting you, and it was nice to see. And it's great that you came back to share with us the news. Fantastic. That is a great day, Miss Heather. I agree with you 100%. Love the love. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. For those of you who have not subscribed to Pilato's, uh, you really should. It's a good time over there too. Pilato's Creations. Very good at what he's doing over there. And it's fun. It's fun. Also, another one of our more seasoned woodworkers. And even though I haven't yet to buy a palm router, I think Palato says he has one either, but he is a router genius. He's very good at that thing. I'm still a little scary when it comes to routers, but watching how easily he handles it makes me have hope that I can figure it out with a little bit of insight. It's weird the tools that you run into woodworking, that 30 years of being a carpenter and contractor that I've never had the need for. And all of a sudden, I have a woodworking shop that is missing essential woodworking tools, which weirdly have nothing to do with the fact that I've been working on wood my whole life. Seasoned, I'm not that old in spite of my height, in spite of the height of my hairline and the white of my beard. Hey, seasoning is good, Pilato. Both salt and pepper are essential seasonings. And I'm sure Miss Pilato can't wait to get back to them. Some salt and some pepper. But I am certainly seasoned. Listen, you got more hair on your head than I can ever grow again, so I'd say me and you ain't that far apart from each other. I might be a little bit your senior, brother. Matthew is in the building. What's going on, Matthew? How are you? How are you? We in here getting good news. Except for Pilato, he's finding out he's old. Dang it. Old as me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting to hit some of that brown wood, some of that deep brown wood. Yikes. I'm just pulling off material now, boy. I gotta calm down. I'll get all excited and start tearing stuff up. Let me take a quick sip of the cafe. Put y'all back in an appropriate position. Pilato, I went gray early and have a bald spot. Just tell the people I'm 25 and dyed my hair gray to get respect. And the bald top is my solar panel. Dad's Workshop says, I gotta know, how old are you, Wes? I'm 52 years old. Pilato says, I knew I was old. I'm just correcting that I'm not that experienced. This guy is witty. Pilato's got, he's got the best dry sense of humor. You're like Larry David over there. You're our Larry David. And you can't opt out of it. It's been done. So you are now. Start looking at our woodworking. It looks pretty good. Pretty. Man, that is the best news that I've looked up from a knife and seen. Mrs. Pilato is doing okay. I don't know why I always want to pronounce your name like Canelo Alvarez, though. Pilato says, you don't have at least a couple of years on me, though, Wes. You do have at least a couple of years on me, though, Wes. I'm telling you. Telling you. Been over here vampiring for the last couple of years, bro. Trying to hold on to my youth, then. But you know how it is. I got teenage boys. So I gotta stay in shape enough to at least show them how to throw these hammers on the end of their arms properly. I can't do that bent over with a cane in my hand, so. But yeah, I had a hole in my ozone probably 25 years old. Hairline was on the way out immediately. It was like, hey, buddy, I gave you a few good years and got out of here. I pronounce it about as well as any of the YouTubers I frequent. Okay. Well, I will continue. Pelado. Pelado and Terence Crawford. I like to pronounce it like I imagine Canelo Alvarez would. I never in my life imagined to fight Terence Crawford. No, I don't think about him. I love me some boxing. Excelente. Word. So, this people is what you would call the grunt work of this part of the process. It's just kind of a repetition of the same behaviors. We break the edge, chop down a little bit, follow our curves and contours. The flat side against our lines in this case. And then we just slice off another millimeter or so of material till we get down to where we want to be. In this case, it's definitive because we got a different color that's going to emerge when we want to be, when we are where we want to be. That's another reason why I'm bad at YouTube. Man, if I had Pilato's voice and enunciation, jeez, or Calvin's vocabulary, I am about as literal as it gets on the self-taught trial and error spectrum. I don't know jack until I break something, and then I'll be like, oh, can't do that. But that didn't teach you what it's called. You just go, oh, I can't do that. Like, it's funny, like, cutting with a saw is the most natural thing in the world to me because I've been doing it for 30 years. I grab a Japanese pull saw, and it's the most aggravating thing I've had in my hand in a long time because I had no technique for it. And I have to watch other people's channels to see how they use it. And Dad's Workshop, that's where I found a better technique. And now I'm relatively comfortable with it, but last two times I did use it online, somebody was like, told me I was using the wrong side. That's why I was asking Calvin that the other day. Like, what do you mean? The cross-cut side and or whatever they were saying. But I had no reference point to that. I just knew in contractor world there's fine and that's it. Like there's general use and then there's fine and it's more defined by the number of teeth. But it's got very little to do with how the wood grain goes. If it'll cut one way, it'll cut the other way typically. So it's not really a reason to distinguish the difference. But with woodworking, it is a bigger deal. I wonder if what they mean when they say Jesus was a carpenter. You know what I'm saying? Did he make chairs? Or did he make doors? Or was he framing up structures? What was that guy doing? Was he just, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know. What's carpenter mean in ancient times? So like he's show up every now and then at church with some bird houses. Like, hey, those are great, James. You know what I'm saying? Pilato says, you pronounce, Dad says, thank you. Obviously, you're crushing it. And Pilato's creation says, ripping with the fewer teeth, cross-cut side with more teeth. Yeah, I just learned that the other day with Cal. So if you look at the two-man saw from the back in the day, you find an antique shop and people hang on their wall. Those you'll notice that the teeth are really far apart. This is true. That's Calvin. Matthew says, I like using mine, but you're right, it takes a bit of getting used to. Calvin says, if you were like me as a kid, you like how you cut with those big dull teeth right when you're cutting with a grain, you're actually ripping, you're doing more splitting. Oh, that makes sense, Calvin. I think about all that all the time. That's Calvin. And you know, that's the interesting thing about, you know, who's deep diving where, you know? And it's really good to have people around you who have been in the water a little deeper and a little further than you have. Learn all kinds of good stuff. Keeps you out of danger a little bit. Good to have allies. I promise you. Anybody I ever had a problem with on YouTube can never see my channel again. So I've got a slew of amigos, and I appreciate it. Again, we're breaking that edge. Pilato, my voice drives me crazy, man. I'm one of those people who can't really tolerate the sound of his own voice, so I can't watch my, I can tolerate a short. I can't watch any of my lives back. I cannot. I knew I lost it the other day when I was on there doing plumbing. And oh man, and trying to film at the same time, it was driving me crazy. I had to stop. And I'm like trying to figure out if I look like an absolute lunatic or not. But I can't bring myself to go back and watch because I just can't tolerate my own voice like that. It's weird. It's definitely a humble craft. Jesus being a carpenter, says uh, Calvin. Pilato says, I don't watch my lives back, but mostly because I'm boring. I am too. I mean, I don't think you're boring. I actually really enjoy yours. Um, Also, because the sound of your voice is very soothing, Pilato. I don't know if you know that about you. So I can see how people watch that just to be informed and get a cool DJ sounding voice out of it. And just while I'm thinking about it, I do thank everybody who is clicking any buttons at all on this channel, unless it's the thumbs down. For that, for you, I curse you and your families. But everybody else, thank you for all your help. Thank you for your likes and your subscriptions. And a few of you cool motor scooters who bothered to become members of this channel, which is dope. And for those of you who just tuning in and check me out, that's all good too. I think as long as you watch, YouTube will send it out to you. I think the rule is you have to watch 2 things, and they'll be like, okay, you're interested in that. But if you're subscribed, you can get those 2 things right away. Ugh, I hate sounding like a salesman. My bad, y'all. Eventually, though, I think I'm going to have to get into that Patreon business. Which is weird for me. I barely like asking for likes and follows, but God bless us all. We chose this and we got to take what comes with it. So we all just trying to feed these kids. We have at least gotten down to our second layer here. So we ain't off the rails just yet. If I had some foresight, I probably would have tapered this a little bit differently so that I could see some of this other on the outside edge here. Like that, but too late, I've already ruined it. It's because sharp chisels are really working out. Getting these sharp has really been an asset. I think I'm going to just stay with the small chisels because it's a little less margin for error. It's not quite as fast, but it's a lot faster if you do the piece once than screwing it up and having to do it twice. This one may get on an Etsy shop after I get it done. Perhaps. Pilato says, when I was a missionary in Argentina about 27 years ago, my companion and I were teaching a lesson to a couple of older ladies. When we were finishing up, one of the ladies turned to me and said, suspense draws closer. The audience gasps with anticipation. Moments flowing, slow like a river. Wondering, waiting for the outcome. We are on the edge of our seats. Dum, dum, dum. Tu voz es tan taquillo y suave, me pone a dormir, which translated means, your voice is so soft and smooth, it puts me right to sleep. Afterwards, my companion couldn't stop laughing. Your voice is soft and smooth. I don't know if that's a bad thing, man. Yo, soft and smooth is not a bad thing with a couple of ladies. You're saying older ladies, so you're probably talking my bracket. A couple gilfs. It's funny, when my wife and I were dating 10 years ago, brought her back home to visit my family in North Carolina, and one of my aunts said, whispered to me, did I intentionally go after an older woman? In reference to my wife. I don't know if you see my wife. She does not look like an older woman. But she did have her gray hair available on that day. And she immediately dyed her hair the next day. And until just this year, 10 years later, have I been able to talk her into letting that gray show, because it's so good looking on her. So good looking on her. But women get spooked easily. Some women get spooked easily. Men have no choice. We don't have any products that make our hair look cool ever again. And if you do use them, you can tell it. which is also not cool. Unless you're super rich, and then people will ignore it. Like Jamie Foxx got his hairline back, and I was like, what? How do you get a hairline at 50? Jesus. I was hurt. Robert G in the building. What's good, Robert? Pilato says, whenever I speak in church now, I start with the anecdote and give permission to any who fall asleep during my talk or speech. I agree with you, Matthew. That's hilarious. Fortunately, I don't ever have to give talks or speeches, so that's wonderful. I barely spoke during my own wedding. I wonder if that feels the opposite on here, since I have to talk so much. In social situations, I never want to be the person who's hogging the conversation, so to speak. So I try to be very mindful of that. This is very anti-intuitive to me, to continue on talking. Without being requested by somebody specifically on whatever topic. So again, back flat side of the chisel against the line. We're creeping even closer to our line now, but we are going to be pulling into the center and creating some bevel, some dimension. So that is just going to be the outside layer of that. And then we're going to be working our way in. Not sure how that's going to work, but we're going to try. I really kind of want you to see my perspective of it, but the camera gets a little bit in the way sometimes. I try not to chisel towards myself, but it's hard. It's hard, good. Oh man, you can't see that either. My bad. Can't always get the ideal position. This camera. But I will try to work my way around to do the best job I can do anyway. I think we finally worked our way loose from our carpet tape. It feels just as well anyway. Once again, re-break our edge. I think you may be able to see that pretty good. Listen close, you can hear it. scan. And now because I want to kind of scoop out, flip that bevel down so I don't dig down. Or scooping out and digging down. Keep that height controlled. Keep that depth controlled. We're working very small right now. You should be tuning us to be more mindful, more careful. And you definitely don't want your wood wiggling around like this, but I'm gonna cut this little piece off here. Same technique. Break it along that wall. Where I can't go deeper than I want. Starts. Sometimes that wood wants to travel how it wants to travel. If you feel it taking over, back off, get back on top of it, shave down. Don't let it drag you down. Don't let it pull the blade down. Go deeper than you want to that way. It's just determining the wood grain direction. You gotta work with it. Some of this is up to you. Some of it is entirely up to the wood. Just cleaning up. Using the flat side to get it all the same height. It's much cleaner that way. Get rid of a little bit of this extra. Just get all the way down to that same color, that same depth. You can tell when you get there, it just gets cleaner all around. I'm going to spin him around. And remember when we talked about we got a little extra room on our tape so that we can do this kind of stuff. We can make another little cut. Yoink. Expose some more sticky. Make it a little less extra off the back side so we can get as much surface area stuff as possible and not just humps and bumps. this flat, and I want as much surface area on there as I can get. I'm stand it real light off camera because I didn't want to get that dust on top of my surface there. That won't be a benefit to my bond. And now that we're here, go that way. I'll try it this way now. Got a little bit to clean up over here, so. The more meticulous you can allow yourself to become, better your results. But you do have to know how to get the results so that you're not meticulously doing it the wrong way. Although there is room for learning in that process, as I'm showing you quite obviously here. Do a bunch of different things a bunch of different ways, or the same thing a bunch of different ways, until something stands out as a better way. A good way to do that is complex shapes. Give yourself some challenges that you're likely to fail at, but you will learn as you're failing. Also give yourself some light challenges that you're likely to succeed in so you don't get discouraged. The fine line depends on your personality. I'm digging down and I'm just kind of dragging out now, scraping out whatever I've cut, just breaking it loose. worked. Sharp knife in that groove. It's not hard for the tool. It's not hard for the tool, and it can't be hard for you, can it? All right. It's going to be a little delicate because this is not a singular shape. This is kind of two of them in together, and I might not get the same kind of result here. Let's go back to the chat and see how everybody's doing. Robert G says my brother hasn't had a hairline since middle school. This is true, man. Words are hard, says Robert. I'm telling you, man. Carnage has been in the building. What's going on, Carnage? How you doing? How you doing? Carnage says he's got to go. See y'all next time. All right, Pilato, next time, brother. We'll look for more good news from you and the family. Thanks for sitting in with us. Robert G says, sitting in the park waiting on girlfriend to finish her exam, and there's a guy here having an argument with an unseen other. Either drugs or schizophrenia. That's a tough time, either one of those two things, man. It's a tough time either way. Sadly, one is self-imposed. The other one, man, is a hard thing to get other people to wrap their heads around and help you with. Because no doubt about it, schizophrenics need help through life. And they gotta be good people when they're not having an episode, or it gets really hard to go back and save them. Petko Skorik says hi. Hi. Matt said, what's up to Carnage? Carnage replied with a what's up to Matt. Carnage says, Matthew says, that's really good looking, Wes. I appreciate it, man. Antonio says, what's up? So what's up, Antonio? How are you? So now it's time to kind of redraw what we're doing a little bit. And I'm going to do it kind of like that. And these points out are going to be our points of bevel. So we're going to kind of bevel down from this interior shape to the exterior shape. And we'll see if we can make it look like something, hopefully. Carnage says, what's up, brother? I got a new knife today. I'm going to do a live unboxing in a minute. Oh, good stuff, Carnage. I look forward to it, man. Let us know. So I guess you guys If you decide to dip out from here because I'm boring, or if you just decide that you'd like to continue with something educational and somewhat entertaining, beyond my somewhat entertaining, check out my man Carnage. I hope that didn't sound goofy. But he's gonna go live after this, I'd imagine. Maybe during. And you can go check it out. Certainly a friend of the channel. Certainly a friend of mine. Now here I'm having to change direction because I had to go with this wood grain. It is wanting to go downhill, so that's the direction I've got to go. Only some of this is up to me. So I'm gonna get around a little bit to the other side just because it's the better thing to do for this direction. I'll be quiet for a little while and let you watch some shavings happen. That's a nice clean line. I'll live with that. Soften this a little bit. So I think I am going to go more for a round over as opposed to a heavy chamfer. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. careful here not to go any further than I want to go. It wouldn't matter here. It would matter a lot. Brian comes in and says, very nice work. Gives me a pound of you, buddy. Appreciate that. Runic said, what's up, folks? How you doing, Runic? Oh, man, Runic's got a great channel over there. Sometimes I can catch him. Never disappointed. Just really good stuff to see over there. So if you get your chance, then I would suggest you put that in your search menu and go on subscribe. Because if you enjoy what I am doing, oh man, does that guy have dancing hands. He's doing some painting over there. Some incredible work with that. Some airbrushing, some pen turning, some lathe work. Just lots of cool stuff. Lots of interesting things to see. You would not be regretting that subscription at all. Now you see what I'm doing here? This wood can take that in this direction right here, and then I start jamming up and I can feel it. It'll take that over the top. Right here, it needs to come that way. It's just not gonna come off well if I don't do it that way. So we just change direction a little bit. I'm gonna come around so that I'm not working back towards myself. Like I said, it's not always up to me. Sometimes it's up to the wood. Most times it's up to the wood. And in this case, it's telling me don't work uphill. And then that wood slices exactly like we want it to. Again, you guys see that I'm going towards my finger here, this finger here. Got my thumb here to protect that. That thumb is on there tight. So this doesn't allow my chisel to go much further than where I'm intending on it going. I'm not saying this is a technique you should do. Just letting you know you should always be conscious of where your body parts are in relationship to a blade that you've got control of. Back to this side. And now instead of slicing towards it, we're going to slice across top of it. Just round that corner that way. this to look like it's stuck on top of this board. That would kind of defeat the purpose of not just sticking it on top of this board in the first place. I want everything to be sharp, but gradual. That's why these lines are here, not to necessarily stick to, but have some idea on where we want to leave our shape. Runick said, "Thank you, sir. Very kind of you." And checks in with Matthew. And Matthew says he's taking a break from carving today and hanging out, getting other stuff done. All right. Good to know, Matthew. And Runick, I appreciate the sentiment that I'm a kind person, but I'm probably more of an honest person than a kind one. And that's generally where I'm coming from, but I appreciate it getting interpreted as kind. Because, geez, how often does that happen where you get an accidental props on being a good person? You know what I'm saying? I'll take it. And now we are seeing the benefits of finely tuning this chisel. We're also working against this particular grain right now, but still kind of working through. You see it catching? It's a sign. It's a sign. When we work through it, we'll bevel this side. Oh, we already hear crackling. We're not going to do that. Go the opposite way. Let the wood tell us where it can go. I appreciate everybody hanging out, sharing with me my obsession. And hopefully a few of my comrades who also share a similar obsession. Gotta try some tools. Gotta try some tools. I cleaned up good. It's going good. Now, a lot of this we could be doing with sandpaper, but if we got a good sharp chisel, why not utilize it?